The content you are about to ingest is for mature audiences only. Human written, voiced by AI. Welcome to Bella Vita, Tales of Sidori Island Part 1. Trigger warnings such as cheating, dubious consent, BDSM, secret society, abduction, female revenge, mild torture, and many other kinks and fetishes may occur throughout the story. If you aren't into weird shit, you reserve the option to press stop at any time. If you like weird shit and wish to continue, sit back, do nothing, and enjoy. Episode 5, We Need to Talk.
2 days had passed since Dom has seen or spoken with Jojo. She is working at the store and her day was going exceptionally well leading up to the last few hours of work. Dom takes her last 15-minute break of the day and sends a text to her friend Cheyenne making sure she was still picking her up from work. While waiting on a response, she goes into the back room where her backpack is located and retrieves the tablet. Dom hasn't looked at the tablet since her meeting with Jojo. She is still trying to mentally process everything that occurred a couple days prior. Meeting the CEO alone was a big deal. Now she has to add that an award-winning, multi-millionaire CEO of the company she works for saw a video of her masturbating in the maintenance closet. And if that wasn't enough stress, Jojo wanted to bring her into the business. Dom felt like a tiny person was in her head raw-dogging the shit out of her brain because she was completely mind-fucked. Dom turns on the tablet and enters the passcode. Her video pops up because she never exited out of the video application. Feeling slightly embarrassed again, she closes the window immediately. The window closes and the home screen is visible. She sees application and folder icons neatly organized on the screen. One specific folder she was curious about was her main objective to find, and within seconds she found it. It was the list of clients. She taps and opens the folder. A spreadsheet of random numbers pops up. Confused as to what the numbers mean, she reads in an attempt to figure it out. Dom's messaging alert interrupts. She exits out of the spreadsheet and places the tablet back in her backpack. Dom checks her phone and it's Cheyenne responding stating she will be about 10 minutes late because she has to take her son to his father's house. Dom goes back to work for the last 2 hours of her shift.
It's raining heavy outside as Dom waits under the convenience store awning. Just as Cheyenne texted, it was exactly 10 minutes after Dom's shift ended when she arrives. Cheyenne rolls down the window and yells, "Get in, bitch," as Dom takes her green hoodie, places it over her head and runs to get into the car. Dom opens the door and attempts to shake off the excess water as she enters the car. Dom greets Cheyenne with hello and welcome back as she closes the car door. Cheyenne responds saying she's glad to be back as she drives out of the store's parking lot. Dom asks Cheyenne how her trip was with her son, little Corey. Cheyenne says it was cool, and suggests that 2 years old might have been too young for little Corey to fully enjoy Mirth's K amusement park. Dom nods her head in solemn agreement. Cheyenne asks Dom if anything exciting happened while she was gone. Dom stares at the raindrops hitting the passenger side window to hide the awkward look she has as she says no. She immediately retracts her answer and confesses how she gave a cute guy her number the day before and made a tip from his purchase.
No, I did meet a guy.
Cheyenne asks Dom if she has heard from him yet and Dom replies, "No, it's only been a day."
The drive from Shady Joe's to Dom and Cheyenne's apartment is 17 minutes with moderate traffic. They had been best friends since middle school, and at 25, they were still inseparable. Upon entering the glass entrance of the apartment complex, the doorman stops Dom and says a package has arrived for her.
You have a package.
The doorman reaches down and picks up a medium-sized box and places it on the counter. Confused as to who could be sending her a package, Dom places her damp hoodie over her arm. Standing on her tippy toes added an extra 2 inches to Dom, making her 5'5", as she reaches for the box in an attempt to read who the sender was. With only an unfamiliar return address, she grabs and shakes the box, taking it off of the counter. As they walk to the elevators, Cheyenne asks if she has any clue as to who would be sending her a package.
Who sent you that?
Dom admits she is just as clueless as Cheyenne while pressing the elevator button. The elevator doors open instantly. The pair enters and Cheyenne presses the number 17. Without any additional stops, the elevator reaches their floor.
Apartment 1703 was one of 4 located on the top floor of the building. Cheyenne's dad, Harold Davidson Jr., is the benefactor of their living situation. Cheyenne is the only child and has benefited from her father's real estate investments. He helped develop the Segredo Towers, the building where they stay. Cheyenne opens the door, enters, slips out of her sneakers, and walks back to her bedroom. Dom follows in behind, closes the door, drops the box and her hoodie down next to the shoes placed at the front door. Dom urgently takes off her shoes and socks, followed by her wet khakis and red-collared Shady Joe's work shirt. Leaving her wet clothes next to the shoes, wearing only her bra and panties, Dom picks up the box and sits on the couch. Cheyenne walks out of the room in a t-shirt that stops midway of her track-sculpted thighs, blotting her damp, shoulder-length, curly, light brown highlighted hair. She asks Dom if she has opened the box yet as she sits down next to her. Cheyenne commands Arlo, the digital assistant located throughout the apartment, to turn on the fireplace. Dom is fighting to rip through the tape that is sealing the box closed. After a few seconds of struggle, Dom manages to open the box.
Dom peels back the flaps of the box and sees a smaller box. She reaches in the box and pulls out what appears to her to resemble an all-black bodysuit. Both women sit on the couch confused as Dom uses her fingers to rub the soft, lightweight, stretchy material together. While Dom is testing the outfit's elasticity, with an intrigued look of disgust, Cheyenne asks Dom, "What the fuck is that? It looks like footy pajamas." Dom replies, she doesn't know. She hands the bodysuit to Cheyenne to assess, reaches back inside and retrieves a pair of glasses. The glasses look like normal reading glasses to her. Cheyenne judgingly looks at Dom and asks if she's some sort of fucking superhero or something.
Are you a superhero?
She continues to suggest that whatever is in the little box is how Dom communicates with her sidekick. Dom places the glasses on the couch and picks up the little box. She lifts the lid of the little box and a phone-like device is revealed. Cheyenne squeals in excitement as she feels her intuition to be correct. Dom accuses Cheyenne of sending the package and having a matching outfit for the upcoming holiday. Cheyenne laughs and refutes the claims as Dom presses the power button on the device.
As soon as the device powers on, strange beeping noises start to come from the door. Both women anxiously look at each other as the beeps continue. Dom places the device on the glass table in front of her, gets up, and walks around the table to the fireplace. She grabs the fire poker and walks in the direction of the beeping. Cheyenne nervously sits on the couch watching Dom in her bra and thong carrying a fire poker, suggesting it could be a bomb and the poker is no match. Dom tells Cheyenne to hush as she inches closer to the beeps. In between beeps, all that can be heard is Dom's bare feet lightly tapping the marble floor. She approaches the area where her wet clothes and bag are located and she sets the poker down. She reaches in her bag and grabs the beeping tablet Jojo gave her. While Dom is putting in the passcode, Cheyenne asks why the device in the box caused the tablet to start beeping. Why did that beep? Dom looks at the screen of the tablet and notices an update is in progress and suddenly everything begins to click in her mind. Cheyenne asks again while waiting on a response from Dom. Dom knew she couldn't disclose exactly what was going on, so she improvised. Dom makes her way back to the couch and tells Cheyenne that she met with the CEO of Shady Joe's and got a promotion. She says she wanted to keep it a secret until it was official, but she guesses the box made it official. Baffled as to why a superhero outfit is a promotion, Cheyenne asks for more clarification. Explain. Dom admits she doesn't know much about the outfit, but they do have an upcoming event. Dom stops talking mid-thought as she sits on the couch between the box and Cheyenne and refers Cheyenne to the company motto. Before she asks, she tells Cheyenne she's not going to ask the CEO if crime fighting is how they keep their prices low. Giving Dom the middle finger, Cheyenne asks if there is anything else in the box. Anything else? Dom feels inside the box and pulls out a boot. The foot of the boot has a 4-inch squared heel. From the top of the ankle to the knee is the same stretchy material of the bodysuit. Cheyenne jokingly asks if there is a whip inside the box too. Dom laughs and tells Cheyenne to shut up while dumping the box upside down towards the floor, dropping the other boot. All the contents of the box are accounted for. Cheyenne tells Dom to try on her new work uniform and make sure it fits because she doesn't want her to go to work in a few hours, doing security, making sure no one breaks in the store. Dom sarcastically laughs and gives Cheyenne the middle finger and tells her fuck you.
Fuck you.
She picks up the bodysuit from in between her and Cheyenne. She slides her left leg inside of the bodysuit. It feels soft on her skin. She puts her right leg in and stands up. The material hugs her skin tightly. Cheyenne's eyes are glued to Dom's ass, as Dom pulls it up over her well-toned, round booty. Dom turns her back to Cheyenne, and unhooks her bra. She throws her bra to the floor. The tattoo of a panther slowly disappears as the bodysuit covers Dom's upper body. Dom zips up the front of the suit and sits back down on the couch. She picks up the right shoe off of the floor and places her foot inside. The stretched material contours her calf perfectly. She does the same with her left boot. Dom stands and walks toward the fireplace on the other side of the living room. All Cheyenne could do was stare speechless for the 25 steps and 5 seconds it took for Dom to walk across the room.
Dom spins around and asks how she looks. How do I look? Every crease and crevice on Dom's body was accentuated. Cheyenne theorizes to Dom. Nipple rings and camel toes sounds better and would sell more chicken than the Knockers restaurant chain. Cheyenne continues as she reiterates the name. Nipple rings and camel toes sounds cooler, only if Dom works there wearing the bodysuit. Dom laughs and Cheyenne picks up the glasses, extending it towards Dom, telling her not to forget to complete the ensemble. Dom walks over and takes the glasses from Cheyenne, telling her she could have gotten up and handed it to her. Cheyenne says she knows, but she wanted to see her walk away again. Dom smiles, walks away, and tells Cheyenne to shut up as she puts on the glasses. Still facing the fireplace, as soon as the glasses cover Dom's eyes, a welcome message appears on the lens reading, "Welcome, Dom." What the fuck? She utters under her breath. In a concerned tone, Cheyenne asks if everything is okay and can she see. Dom confirms that she can see and mentions welcome messaging with her name. As she stares into the fire, the readout on the lens shows the temperature to be 737 degrees Fahrenheit. Dom excitingly yells, "Oh shit," it tells the temperature of the fire. She turns towards Cheyenne. In less than a second, the name Cheyenne Davidson pops up on the screen of the lens. As she moves her eyes, eye tracking technology allows her to scroll up and down, revealing more of Cheyenne's information is provided. Cheyenne inquires into Dom's sudden silence as Dom reads more information.
What's going on?
Cheyenne Davidson, 25, unemployed, 369 Moorhead Lane, apartment 1703. Height 5'4", weight 135 pounds. Hair color brown. Eye color brown. As Dom proceeds to scroll with her eyes, she informs Cheyenne that the glasses provided her with all of her information, including information about where she lives and her son. Dom continues reading about Cheyenne's likes, dislikes, favorite movies, and restaurants. The list goes on. A prompt stating for Dom to blink twice to click a hyperlink appears as she gets to a section labeled Cheyenne's relatives. She blinks twice, and before she could adjust her eyes properly. Son, Corey Lambert Jr. 2, daycare. Son's father, Corey Lambert Sr. 27, professional basketball player. Mother, Lisa Davidson 53, fashion designer. Father, Harold Davidson Jr. 55, real estate developer, client 5. Dom focuses her eyes on Cheyenne, impatiently waiting on her to explain more of what she is seeing.
What's happening?
An icon of a heart and the numbers 72, 73, 74 continuously increase, showing on the lens as she looks at her. Dom abruptly takes off the glasses and tells Cheyenne she has seen enough to know how it works. Dom walks over to the table and places the glasses onto the table.
Cheyenne asks can she see the glasses as she reaches for it, ignoring any response from Dom. Cheyenne puts on the glasses and looks at Dom. All Cheyenne can see as she looks at her is the word Dom, and nothing else. Cheyenne admits she is confused as to why the glasses only say Dom and don't work for her. Dom poses the notion that the glasses only work for her because she is an employee. Cheyenne says that doesn't explain how or why her information is showing. Just as Dom is getting ready to rebuttal, it's interrupted by a notification coming from the tablet stating the update was complete.
Dom reaches for the tablet, and suddenly the device on the table starts ringing. The startled women look at the device as Dom picks it up and sees Jojo wanting to video chat with her on the device. Dom excitingly yells "oh shit" and tells Cheyenne she has to take the call. Dom gets up and walks to her bedroom, leaving a bewildered Cheyenne alone in the living room. Cheyenne's eyes follow Dom as Dom walks past her to go to her room. She is thinking how good Dom's ass looks in the bodysuit, while her peripherals are distracted by the glowing light from the newly updated tablet. Cheyenne's dad used to always tell her, the C for Cheyenne really stood for curiosity. The unlocked tablet in Cheyenne's hands now had all of her attention as the door to Dom's bedroom closes.
This episode of Bella Vita Tales of Sidori Island Part 1 is sponsored by...
Here's the plot. A serial killer's last victim survives and is rescued and treated by the best first responder team in the city. The victim is treated at the hospital by a world-renowned doctor who learns the victim has a rare disease. While the police force and FBI are searching for the serial killer, the hospital staff and doctor race to find a cure for the rare disease of the lone survivor of a serial killer. Suddenly, a terrorist plot on the hospital is uncovered and a special ops unit has to intervene before the hospital is destroyed, and the doctor never finds a cure for the lone survivor of the serial killer who the cops need as a witness to help find out who it is. That's their network series plots, not ours. You can clearly tell, over here we ain't them and they ain't us. Bella Vita Tales of Sidori Island Part 1 isn't just a story, it's an experience. And for those who want to take the potion and go deeper, to uncover the secrets behind the scenes, there's only one place to do it: Patreon. When you subscribe, you get ad-free early access to episodes, exclusive character details, and behind-the-scenes content that takes you inside the mind of the creator. Think of it as your all-access pass to the world of Bella Vita. Visit patreon.com/The Felix Network and join us. Because over here, we are something different.
Dom sits on her bed and answers Jojo's video call. Jojo enthusiastically greets Dom, briefing her of receiving notification of the tablet being updated. Before Jojo was going to ask about the bodysuit, she notices that Dom is wearing it.
Let me see.
She asks Dom to set the phone down so she can see her in the full outfit. Dom props the phone on the lamp located on the nightstand next to the bed. She stands up and walks in view of the phone's camera and follows Jojo's instructions to spin around.
Spin around.
Dom spins around and is asked to unzip the bodysuit halfway to show more cleavage. Dom nervously unzips the bodysuit so a portion of the inside cups of her breast and butterfly tattoo underneath her breasts are now visible. Jojo yells perfect and tells Jojo she wants to go over the information in the tablet. Dom tells Jojo the tablet is in the living room and asks her if she wanted her to go get it. Jojo assures her she doesn't need it at the moment.
Jojo advises Dom about the multiple levels and complexity of the business. She starts off by explaining the passcode 3264633 is the word Dan Hoff. Dom nods her head and says damn, again. She never put two and two together. Jojo reaffirms that Dan is the reason the business exists and he was her first client. Jojo explains through Dan's connections she was able to grow the business. Dom asks what the business is exactly and what her role is. Jojo insists to Dom that she is retiring and reassures her she wants her to be her successor. Jojo gives a brief education on affluent clients having rage urges, and she is the one that makes sure the appetites are properly fed. Dom has a look of confusion as she asks Jojo if she has to sleep with the clients. Jojo laughs and tells Dom that is a great question and the answer is no. She fills Dom in on her rage party stats. Out of 263 clients, over 20 years, she has only slept with 2 of them. She tells Dom she won't go into detail about the 2, but she insists to Dom it's her own decision to be in control of everything she is willing to do. She controls her own destiny. Dom asks for more clarity on what her role is. Jojo suggests they use the term rage thresholds as she explains what it is.
What are thresholds?
Rage thresholds are measured on a scale of 1 to 11. Level 1 are the clients that aren't really hands-on, they just like to be talked to a certain way. For instance, each client is given a phone. That's how communication works. The DPN communication network was created by client number 3, Mark Lang. Mark Lang is a tech engineer, married for 24 years and they have no kids. Mark is fortunate to marry because Mark has a tiny dick. Mark knows he has a tiny dick and he believes his wife goes elsewhere to get satisfied, and so does he. He calls to be belittled about his tiny dick. Jojo goes on to say Mark calls her once a week for 10 minutes and she makes him feel less than, reminding him that his wife is cheating on him with a big black cock. Dom begins to laugh as Jojo continues to say he pays $1,000 to be humiliated during video chat while he jerks off on the phone. Jojo explains that Dan makes 10% for his administrative fee. Dom is intrigued, clarifying Jojo makes $900 to watch a guy jerk off and get made fun of. Jojo nods her head in agreement. Dom confesses she was tempted to get the $50 from the government's RTP program, but to her $900 sounds much better. Dom asks, what are the next levels and how does she service all of the clients?
Next levels.
Jojo gives a breakdown on how the higher the level, the more money is involved. She alludes to having a network of hand-selected women in various career fields. Each woman is essentially their own boss. Their careers are cover-ups. They receive notification of a rage event, or the client directly contacts them on the secure DPN network. Jojo informs Dom, each client has their own profile on the tablet which syncs to the phone and glasses provided in the box. The technology of the glasses provides the client's profile information while looking at them. It details everything from body temperature, heart rate, to rage threshold, the list goes on. Jojo mentions she forgot to inform Dom, in order for clients to be invited to be a part of the rage party scene, they are filmed. Located on the tablet in each client's profile there is a video of them engaging in their rage activity. She also includes the importance of exclusivity and anonymity. Jojo encourages Dom to look at the client's profiles after they get off of the phone. Dom sits in silence for a few seconds. Jojo suggests she lets some of the information digest and they can pick up tomorrow. As Jojo begins to end the chat, Dom asks her to wait and explain the client's profile spreadsheet. Jojo responds stating the code was simple. She says the first number corresponds with the numerical letter. The number 4 represents the letter D as in Dan. The number 8 represents the letter H as in Hoff. His rage level is a 9 and he has been serviced 27 times. Dom responds feeling enlightened as she asks her last question. She asks Jojo about client number 5.
What about client 5?
Jojo sits in silence. Dom stares at Jojo through the 7-inch screen as she continues to remain silent. Dom asks if everything was okay and if she said something wrong.
Did I say something
Dom
wrong?
continues to look at the screen, and suddenly Jojo stands up and accuses Dom of having superpowers. Dom expresses she's really fucking confused as she sees Jojo leave one room and enter another. Dom watches as Jojo turns her head as if she is talking to someone. Jojo asks Dom if she was still with her. Dom confirms. Dom hears Jojo saying that she was retiring and she wants them to meet their new rage specialists. Jojo looks back into the camera and tells Dom to meet client number 5. Jojo spins the phone around so the pair can meet face to face. Dom intensely stares at the screen. She sees a naked man on a bed, lying on his back. His arms and legs are tied to the 4 bedposts at each corner of the bed. As Jojo walks closer to the bed, which is about 7 paces from the door, Dom notices the man's dick begins to grow in apparent excitement. The camera on Jojo's phone loses focus as Dom hears some background rustling noises. Then after about 10 seconds, Jojo's camera comes back into focus and from Dom's perspective it appears as if Jojo is standing over the naked man lying on the bed. Dom can clearly see from her bird's eye view of the man's torso that he was fully erect as Jojo pans the camera to the guy's face.
So many emotions are flowing through Dom's mind and body in the short period of time it took Jojo to say nothing, walk to a room, and climb on a bed. Dom had her suspicion from the information she saw while wearing the glasses if the info was to be correct. Dom assumed she would get confirmation in a simple yes or no, but is immediately proven wrong. With Dom's sweaty palms and her increased pulse rate, the camera finally reaches the face of client number 5. Dom's eyes get big and she stares at Cheyenne's dad. Harold Davidson Jr. has a gag ball in his mouth, frantically mumbling, and his eyes ready to pop out of his head as he recognizes Dom. Before she could react, turn away and hang up, she sees Harold's face getting soaked. Dom's initial and only guess of the soaking substance is pee, as she hears Jojo's sighs of relief coming from the background. Dom cleverly tells Jojo she has to go. Her food order has arrived as she hangs up the phone. Dom sits on the edge of her bed speechless in shock.
While Dom was on the phone with Jojo, Cheyenne took it upon herself to rummage through Dom's tablet. On the home screen, the first thing that caught Cheyenne's eyes was the folder labeled Dominique Taylor. She taps on the folder and sees screenshots of search results and spy web activity. Cheyenne mumbles to herself, "This bitch is kinky." As she scrolls through the images, she sees pictures of women sitting on men's faces and stepping on their genitals. The more she scrolls, the more graphically intense it gets. Cheyenne exits out quickly as she sees a man being shit on. She internally assesses Dom's singleness to be attributed to wanting to do similar activities in the bedroom with men. Cheyenne sees a folder inside of the Dominique folder labeled videos. She taps the first video and it's surveillance footage of Dom working at the store. She fast forwards and doesn't see anything of much interest. She notices the videos are labeled by date and she immediately thinks about the guy that Dom told her about and looks for a video from a day ago. Her search ended up empty. As she gets to the last video, it doesn't have a date, it's labeled the smoking gun. Cheyenne taps on the smoking gun video and it shows Dom sitting in the break room looking at her phone. Cheyenne fast forwards and sees Dom get up, as the video cuts to her walking in the hallway to the maintenance closet. Cheyenne's mouth drops as she sees Dom unbutton her pants and start playing with herself. 5 minutes inside the maintenance closet and she cannot stop watching her friend enjoying herself. She couldn't see anything other than Dom's hands inside of her pants, but she was intrigued to learn about who her friend for years really was. As she watches Dom appear to have an orgasm, Cheyenne closes the video and stares at the tablet screen. Cheyenne says to herself, her and Dom are going to have a conversation whenever she gets off the phone. We need to talk. Cheyenne closes the Dominique Taylor folder and taps the client video folder. She sees 263 videos listed in the folder. Cheyenne has no idea what to expect after learning that her best friend was into weird sexual activities. She taps the first video and she was immediately blown away. She sees famous movie director Dan Hoff naked, with his arms tied to a chair surrounded by two people wearing ski masks and baggy clothes. She sees him mouthing something, so she turns up the sound. She hears, "My name is Dan Hoff and I'm here under my own free will." One of the masked persons slaps him across the face, telling him to shut up.
Shut up.
From the voice and the mannerisms of the slap, she could tell that one of the masked people was a woman. She skims 2 minutes through the 3-minute clip when she sees the other masked person flick a lighter to Dan's nipple and he ejaculates onto the floor. Cheyenne could tell by the voice. The other masked person was a woman because she yells at him to clean up his cum with his bare feet. Once Cheyenne sees Dan take his left foot and slide it over his cum, she decided it was best for her to close the video. She knew she had to see Client 2 if Dan Hoff was Client 1. She taps on the video and it is requesting a passcode. She types in 12345 and nothing happens. She tries 5 random numbers multiple times and it still won't open. Puzzled as to why that video is locked, she decides to go on to client number 3. She taps the video and this time she sees a guy in a classroom sitting in a desk in the front of the room facing the camera. The guy says his name is Mark Lang and he has a tiny penis. Cheyenne bursts out laughing as the camera zooms out and 2 women are also in the room. One is dressed as a teacher holding a yardstick in what Cheyenne compares to a cheap porn costume. The teacher is standing at the corner of Mark's desk. The other woman is in the desk diagonal from Mark, dressed like a cheerleader. This time Cheyenne can clearly see they were women, but their backs were to the camera, still hiding their identities. She watches the 2 women berate Mark, calling him a nerd and a loser with a little dick. As they call him all kinds of names, he slowly undoes his pants and begins to masturbate. Cheyenne stares in disbelief at the size of Mark's dick. She closes the video, feeling sorry for Mark and the women he has sex with. She thinks to herself the conversation can't come soon enough between her and Dom. I can't wait. Judging from the aesthetics of the 2 videos, Cheyenne assumes the first video was years older than the second one. Just as Cheyenne taps onto the 4th video, she tries to guess who Client 4 is. She looks up and blurts out Mario Sumter. Her voice echoes in the empty living room, overpowering the sound of the fireplace crackles. She quickly places her hands over her mouth, realizing she is not supposed to be looking through Dom's tablet. Mario is a 41-year-old actor she has had a crush on since she was 16 and saw his bare ass in the movie Falling Leaves, a Dan Hoff film. Cheyenne snaps out of her daydream when she hears help. My name is Arnold Caputo, and I am surrounded by fire under my own free will. Cheyenne looks down at the tablet and sees a middle-aged man wearing a dingy tank top and boxers. He's sitting on a dirty mattress in a rundown apartment. The mattress is on the floor surrounded by computer-generated smoke and fire. While he is pretending to be in duress, an axe breaks through the door and a group of 5 sexy women firefighters bust through the door. Cheyenne is covering her mouth in amusing disbelief as she is locked into the updated production quality of the client videos. The firefighters are topless as the suspenders cover their nipples and are connected to a short skirt made out of the same material firefighter pants are made from. This time the women are wearing gas masks to cover their faces. Cheyenne was anticipating the direction the video was headed since the previous 2 caught her completely off guard. Just like the first 2 videos, she is thrown for a loop when she witnesses the women in a reverse bukkake. Cheyenne's eyelids can't lift any further while she watches the women squirt on Arnold. The women take turns. As they squirt, the fires disappear. After 2 minutes of watching, she closes out the video in fear of Dom coming out of the room and catching her. Cheyenne moves her finger to the upper right-hand corner of the client folder. She gets ready to close the folder and place the tablet right where she found it when she lifts up her t-shirt and sees a wet spot on her gray panties. She admits to herself, she is disgustingly turned on and decides to look at Client 5's video. She taps the video and is startled when she hears Dom urgently exit her room. She looks up and sees Dom looking distraught. They say simultaneously, they need to talk.
On the next episode of Bella Vita.
The irony of the saying "the truth will set you free" is it can also hold you captive. Alana discovers some truth behind her dinner with Dr. Strickland. Does Chantel reveal to PJ she was the one assisting him behind the screen? She weighs the options of her confession doing more harm than good. Cheyenne is one play button away from discovering who her father really is. How will she cope if the tablet screen or Dom exposes the truth about her father's alternative lifestyle? Darkness follows closely as secrets are revealed.